Hello and welcome back to more Football Manager 2019 with me, Mr. Grand 2, and Swansea City, a Welsh development. And since last time, then we only played one match. It was a 1-0 win against West Ham. Let's have a look at the goal. It was a thumping strike from youngster Joe Adams. He's developing incredibly well considering he is such a young man. So our final match of the season against Tottenham here. Matt Smith's got a little bit of an injury, so we'll give Joe Allen the game, and Joe Roden can also come in as well for Chris Mepham. Tottenham are today's opponents at the Liberty Stadium. Well, everybody's very much in party mood, holiday mood already. Be nice to end things with a positive result, but I think it's been a very successful season. I think we've done really, really well to stay up, and certainly to stay up um, with so many games to spare. I think let's just go out there, have some fun. Corner from Winks, and it's been headed in by Kieran Tierney. We just had a goal ruled out for offside from Joe Allen. And Tottenham now take the lead. Kieran Tierney with the goal. Looking for an immediate response here. It looks like Tottenham are pressing forward again though. Gnabry shoots and it's saved by Carl Darlow. Another corner for Tottenham then. They just scored from the last one. Working it nicely. Not really got any sort of foothold in the game yet. Davis, Gnabry puts it just wide round the post. And we keep the score at 1-0 for now. Well, half time, nothing doing. A 1-0 lead for Spurs, their goal from a corner. We've offered little to nothing other than Joe Allen scoring from an offside position. And there we are then, Tottenham securing a pretty straightforward win for them. We didn't really offer much. We had 8 shots on target apparently, but well, I only really saw about 1 or 2 of them. Nothing really much doing. A disappointing way to end the season, of course, but ultimately it doesn't really particularly matter. We have comfortably stayed up. Let's have a look at the final table, see how things ended up, and then we'll look at some stats and the end of season review things. So £23.17 million for a ninth place finish. Not too shabby at all. To actually get top 10 finish, I think is pretty impressive considering how bad we were for much of the season. But there we are. Palace, Fulham, and Preston are relegated. Derby just about surviving on the final day. Liverpool win the league. Well done to them. I'm sure you wish it would happen in real life, Liverpool fans. Um, Arsenal, City, and United rounding out the top 4. Spurs, Chelsea, and Wolves having to settle for Europa League football. Quite similar to the real life season just gone. Obviously, Arsenal a lot higher up, City a lot lower down, and United above Spurs and Chelsea. But Wolves getting 7th place, pretty impressive. But we finish in 9th, 53 points, -9 goal difference. I think that kind of tells you a lot of the problems we've been having. But nevertheless, top 10 finish, 16 wins, not too bad overall. Let's have a look at some stats. What I want to look at first of all is possession. Obviously, we dominated possession in the Championship, not so much in the Premier League. 8th for possession, level with Derby County, who are slightly higher for passes completed. So by percentage of capacity, 99% percentage of capacity average, so not quite filling it out every week. But potentially we will be able to get the board to agree to a stadium expansion. In fact, 19 stadium sellouts, so potentially we could get one there, because if we get more fans in, that will obviously help with the revenue. Are we top for anything? We're top for fouls made by a massive amount over Preston, who obviously got relegated and finished. We don't seem to be top for anything else, but I mean, goals, seventh most number of goals. That's more than I expected, actually. That's more than I expected. Not the worst, not the worst in the league. I was expecting that to be a lot lower. Chance conversion rate, only 10th on that. Chances created in fifth again. I mean, this is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. Let's have a look at our defensive stats briefly. Clean sheets equal ninth, not awful, and conceded. Well, we've conceded quite a few goals. Yeah, 14th on that. That's kind of where the problem's been. But yeah, overall, not too bad. Well, we don't win any of the major awards, but Joe Adams has finished second for goal of the season. His goal against Crystal Palace, which you didn't get to see, was the winner for that one. Let's have a look at it. Well, this was, I believe, Joe Adams. It was either his first or his second goal of professional football, and what a goal that was! Running from pretty much the halfway line, and then a thumping strike into the corner. Is this really any better? Am I going to be sufficiently impressed? Well, it's another, well, it's a very similar goal, really. None of the three goals really particularly long range strikes into the top corner. All three of them, um, long driving runs and shots really into one of the bottom corners. So I don't know, nothing I'd really necessarily pick myself from that. So the board has set an additional budget for next season, a £1 million wage budget and 54 million in the transfer budget, which I kind of feel was what was there anyway, maybe slightly higher than what was there anyway. It gives us £188,000 spare at present. I should say while we're here, I've agreed to sign Oliver Denham from Manchester United just because he's Welsh. So he's not going to be anything particularly special. But I mean, we could always move some of this into here. But I mean, that's going to be potentially. I'm not sure it's going to be enough to attract, well, the highest caliber of player that we haven't already got from Wales. Well, I did forget that it's going to be Euro 2020 this summer, so it'll be interesting to see whether Ryan Giggs can replicate Chris Coleman's success from 4 years earlier. This is preliminary squad, I think, not the final one yet, but a significant number of Swansea players in here, as you'd perhaps expect. But Mepham, Ward, Darlow, Allen, Woodburn, Smith, Roberts, Roden, James, Connor Roberts, Lawrence, even though he's been out injured for so long, he's actually going to potentially be fit in time, which is interesting. Dummer and Chester all being called up for Euro 2020. It'll be interesting to see how well they do, actually. Um, we can review that potentially next time. Well, here we are then, our all-time best 11. Darlow has gone straight into the overall best 11 squad in goal. He's only been here for half a season, so that's quite impressive. But Dummett moves in there at left back. Roden and Van der Horn make up the central defence. Roberts obviously at right back. Wayne Routledge is still at left midfield. Then Grimes still with Leroy Fair. Daniel James on the right. Chelina and Tyler Roberts goes ahead of Ben Woodburn up front. I guess that really shows you how poor Ben Woodburn was last season in terms of his average rating. End of season awards then. Daniel James is player of the season, perhaps unsurprisingly. The Joe Adams goal that obviously came second in goal of the season, won our club goal of the season. Carl Darlow is signing of the season, and young player of the year also goes to Daniel James. Let's have a look at the team of the year, because we have rotated quite a lot. But it is Darlow in goal, Dummett, Mepham, Chester and Roberts, so no place for Joe Roden there. James on the left. Joe Adams makes team of the season. Grimes and Smith, Chelina and Roberts. So it's the team we sort of finished the year with, really. That is what the fans like most of all. Daniel James was our top goal scorer, but only 13 goals. He had our highest average rating as well. Chelina with 8 assists. He's obviously a player that we might get some interest in the summer. We need to potentially look to move on because he's not Welsh. Joe Allen had best pass completion despite being pretty terrible. Most player of the match awards goes to Connor Roberts and Daniel James. Nobody got sent off all season long. Not had that very often. So overall, pretty successful, I think. Next season, I'm going to say probably mid-table. They love it. They absolutely love it. You never can tell with team meetings, but good to get that one sorted out. Yeah, so overall, I think it's been a pretty successful season. It was a bit up and down. 2 patches of very, very poor form, but we have made it through in the end. Now let's have a quick look. I just want to see which players are actually interested in transferring to us. I've got it set on young players. There are a few young players coming through at the other Premier League clubs. Whether they develop into anything amazing, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so we put it on interested. Let's have a look who is actually interested in joining us. Well, Harry Wilson is, and that is interesting. Jared Bowen has taken Welsh nationality. Again, similar to Carl Darlow, he's one of the players that sort of frequently decides to declare for Wales in the game, even though in real life they're still classified as English. In fact, I read something about Jared Bowen finding out that he was playing for Wales on Football Manager, being confused by it because he thought he wasn't eligible at all. So he's potentially someone we could look to sign. He's moved to Stoke in the game. Yeah, I think, as I said earlier, Ben Woodburn on a permanent deal would be probably the sensible thing to do, as poor as he's been. Then we can get Harry Wilson on loan, and then potentially try and break the bank to get in David Brooks. I mean, if we can get Gareth Bale, that would be amazing, but that's not going to happen, is it? Okay, we're going to end the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time, potentially for some sort of review of Euro 2020, see how well Wales get on with all of our players, see how well they do, and we'll look at some transfers as well. And I will see you in time for the next season.